Donkey Kong Country Returns occupies an interesting spot in the grand history of 2D platforming games. Once games moved en masse to 3D in the late 90s, the genre was by and large relegated to handhelds. For sure, it thrived just fine on systems like the Game Boy Advance and Nintendo DS, but also came to be seen as a lesser type of game. However, Nintendo brought it back. New Super Mario Bros. Was successful on the DS, with the Wii follow-up also being extremely popular, and it showed people didn't really mind playing 2D platformers on their television. DKC Returns came at a good time then. It was a retro revival, a showcase of 2D platformers on console, and, well, it was Donkey Kong, and Donkey Kong is just plain cool. First and foremost, the art in Donkey Kong Country Returns is off the chart. The slight shift in camera angle to no longer be a perfectly side-on view does wonders in making the levels feel grounded. Combined with not having obvious tile placements like you'd see in something like New Super Mario Bros., and the whole game simply looks more premium. And then you see the actual assets used to build these levels, and the whole thing ratchets up to be one of the finest looking platformers around. Taking place on Donkey Kong Island means it's all of a tropical piece, but the jungles, beaches, cliffsides, and other locales are all distinct and they all look great. You'll even sometimes be shot into a background layer to do some platforming, which is a fun little visual trick. Probably the most impressive thing about these levels are the number of unique set pieces, for lack of a better term. If you'll indulge me, I'd like to rattle off some of my favorites. Blowhole Bound has a section where you ride a whale and slap its blowhole to be spit into the air. Mole Patrol sees you in a cave chasing a train conducted by moles that has a fat drill attached to the front of it. Muncher Marathon has you escaping an avalanche of spiders, which is something I can't even believe is in a Nintendo game in the first place. You only ever see these set pieces in its respective level, and these are just a few examples. You'll have to take cover from oncoming waves Untitled Terror, blow up an ancient ruin in Button Bash, and maybe my favorite level in the entire game, Tippy Shippy, where you jump among pirate ships somehow beached on mountaintops among the clouds. Holy crap, did this get my imagination running the first time I saw it. The unique level concepts go on in DKCR, and each has a slightly unique look to match it too. That's the critical thing about the presentation in Donkey Kong. The levels are unique in both concept and look. Sure, assets are shared, but lighting will be changed, the backgrounds will be different, and yes, some of them are silhouetted. Probably the most popular thing about the game are its silhouette levels. And even if they're one of the only things people still talk about when it comes to DKCR, it's not without reason. There are only 3 in the entire game, which I find hilarious for some reason, but their sparing use makes each feel like a huge treat. Unsurprisingly, one can be found in the first world, and it's probably the most iconic level in the entire game because of this. Add in a unique song that's a jazzy rendition of some classic Donkey Kong Country tunes, and it's easy to see why it stands out so much. But I'll be damned if it's not still a real jaw-dropper of a moment. Video games have a lot of art in them, and without getting too philosophical, being built entirely from the ground up out of nothing is one of the medium's most unique aspects. Of course, the Returns part of Donkey Kong Country Returns is in reference to the older series that this game explicitly builds on, but only really defines the general direction the look should take. The artists who worked on DKCR crafted an incredible amount of high-quality assets, backgrounds, and lighting placements. Someone had to decide where every tree, bush, slope, vine, etc. would be placed in this game. And these decisions are why I find video games so interesting. Every last thing you see on screen is the result of someone making a decision. There are no on-location shoots, no pre-built props to make use of, no wardrobe to dig into. The raw quantity of choices a designer makes for every single screen the player sees, in any game, is astronomical. Regardless, the end result in Donkey Kong is a game that looks spectacular. And this is what I meant at the top when I said DKC Returns was a showcase for 2D platformers on console. While it might fundamentally play the same as a platformer on handheld would, the raw amount of unique visuals that could be included in a console game makes each level feel novel. Just being able to see what the next level looks like ends up being its own reward, especially when they don't make it easy to see the next level. Compared to other Nintendo platformers, Donkey Kong Country Returns puts up a stiff challenge. Even making it through the mainline levels to get to the ending can be pretty tough. I imagine everyone will have different levels they get stuck on, but everyone will get stuck on some levels. Also, given the speedrunning potential of DK's moveset, if you lose patience with the level and try to showily speed through some sections, you'll just end up losing more. As usual, patience is an important skill. Actually, the way Donkey Kong controls in general is kinda crazy. He's a big ape, and he sure controls like a big ape. There is a huge amount of inertia to overcome before jumping will be worth anything. Moving is fine, but jumping simply requires a fair bit of lead up. But if you're jumping out of a roll, you'll go flying across the screen because the big ape has big momentum at that point. He's fun to play, different sure, but fun. I like seeing how developers translate different types of characters into movesets. You would expect a giant ape to feel different from a squat Italian man, and that's the case. Donkey Kong controls like an ape. Oh, being able to jump out of a roll mid-air was a great decision. That's a top-tier fun move. Once you finish the game, a secretive golden temple arises out of the earth. You'll quickly find out you need 8 rare orbs in order to access it, and this hunt is probably where I had the most fun with DKCR. Going back and replaying levels shows just how good you've gotten at the game by that point. You'll be speeding through sections, executing mid-air roll jumps like it's nothing. So, the journey to the Golden Temple, eh? The 8 rare orbs are found in 8 temple levels in each world. The 8 temple levels are accessed by getting all the Kong letters in the world's other levels. And to access all the levels in a world, you'll need to buy a map key from Cranky Kong's shop. This stepladder structure to the hunt makes it feel like you're actually going on a journey and uncovering secrets along the way. Also, Cranky might mention a mysterious banana that teleports you to another dimension. And it apparently tastes good also. If that doesn't intrigue you, I don't know, you're hopeless. The 8 rare orb levels make for a great culmination of the different challenges you face along your journey. They're pretty hard, and like the main game, I suspect each player will get stuck on a different one. And then you get to the Golden Temple itself. There's no big gimmick with the level, though it does require some of the most precise platforming in the game. It is, however, a real solidly built challenge that doesn't go too overboard. With enough attempts, you learn to speed through certain sections, which keeps the whole thing from bogging down. It also features a unique visual layer as well. Donkey Kong is transported to another dimension made out of fruits and gold. There's also a unique background song which ties the whole level together into something special. It's fully new, it's a prime Donkey Kong level, and like the rest of the game, it's just pretty good fun. The last stretch in particular is memorable since it may be the only time you're platforming on objects moving into the screen. Completing the Golden Temple rewards you with the banana mirror that unlocks mirror mode. This is a really good way to break your brain. Even if you don't take the journey to the Golden Temple, Donkey Kong Country Returns is a great platformer. Completing the main path is a good challenge, and you'll feel satisfied when you do overcome it. Each level is a proper treat too, with the Retro Studios really flexing one hell of an art muscle crafting each of them. While there are good rewards for doing everything, just being able to see it all is its own reward. As trite as the saying is, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. And in particular, it's the journey to the Golden Temple.